Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling a real puzzle. The Kurds. You've got this incredibly resilient people. But for centuries, a unified, sovereign state has always been just out of reach. We're going to dig into an intelligence analysis that tries to explain the why behind this whole paradox.
Okay, so our guide for this is a 2025 analysis by Aslan Sultan, and it really gets to the heart of this contradiction, right? How can a group of people be so tough, so resilient, and yet at the same time so politically fragmented? It's a puzzle that has defined their history.
So yeah, that's the big question we're asking today. And the analysis, it doesn't give a simple answer. Instead, it lays out this powerful idea it calls the logic of denied victory. Let's actually break down what that means. So what in the world is the logic of denied victory? Well, think of it less like a single reason and more like a web of forces that are all tangled together. We're talking geography, society, history, all reinforcing each other. And to really get it, the analysis breaks it down into 3 key clues.
All right, clue number 1, the land itself. According to this analysis, the mountains of Kurdistan are a classic double-edged sword.
So on the one hand, you've got these incredible mountains that act as a natural fortress. They've protected the Kurds from being completely wiped out by empires for centuries. But, and this is a big but, those same mountains also act like a cage. They cut communities off from each other, they make trade and communication difficult, and they make it almost impossible to set up any kind of strong central government.
And this quote from the analysis just nails it, doesn't it? Geography grants the Kurds a defensive advantage, but it simultaneously impedes coordination for broader political aims. I mean, the very thing that helps them survive is also what gets in the way of building a nation. Now let's see how this landscape has shaped the people themselves. That brings us to clue number 2. Okay, so our second clue digs into the social fabric. If you think of the geography as the hardware of the region, then you could say the deeply rooted tribal system is its operating system.
You see, for hundreds of years, Kurdish society has been built around powerful local leaders. You know, the Khans and the Agas. Your loyalty isn't to some abstract idea of a nation. It's personal. It's to the leader who protects your family and upholds your traditions. Now, this makes for an unbelievably strong, resilient society at the local level. But it also means that your allegiance to your tribe often trumps any idea of a unified Kurdish nation.
And this right here highlights a huge strategic point. You can't just drop a modern nation-state on top of this system and expect it to work. Any real push for unity has to work with these tribal loyalties, not try to erase them. And that is a very, very tricky balancing act that has, well, rarely ever been pulled off.
Okay, so this all brings us to our final clue, how the geography and the tribalism have come together to create this repeating pattern all throughout history. And the cycle is, well, it's tragically predictable. It goes something like this. A window of opportunity opens up. Maybe a big empire in the region, like the Ottomans or the Persians, gets weak. This is the moment, right? The chance for autonomy. But what happens next? Almost every single time, internal rivalries explode. Different tribal leaders, different political groups, they all start fighting for the top spot. And that disunity, it gets exploited by outside powers. The window slams shut, and the whole cycle just starts all over again.
This is such a crucial insight from the analysis. It's arguing that the biggest thing holding back Kurdish sovereignty isn't just enemies on the outside. The real challenge, the one that's proven so hard to beat, has been the internal struggle to get on the same page and stay there when it counts. Okay, so let's step back and put the pieces of the puzzle together. When you take our 3 clues, the geography, the tribalism, and that repeating cycle of history, you can really start to see this logic of denied victory in action. Yeah, it's basically a self-reinforcing loop. The tough, isolating geography makes those local tribal identities much stronger than a single national one. Then, that deep-seated tribalism is what fuels the historical pattern of fragmentation, right when an opportunity for unity pops up. So you see, it's not just one bad guy or one mistake. It's this powerful, interconnected system that has, time and time again, denied a lasting victory.
All right, so what's the takeaway here? I mean, understanding the logic is one thing, but what does the analysis actually recommend for anyone trying to engage with the region? You know, whether you're a diplomat, working for an NGO, or just an analyst trying to make sense of it all.
The analysis lays out a really clear strategic roadmap. First, don't pretend there's a unified front. You have to accept that internal fragmentation is the reality and work with it. Second, don't fight the geography. Use it. You have to invest in the long-term stuff like cultural and educational infrastructure. And this is a big one. You have to engage with the local tribal leaders, the people who actually hold the power. And maybe most important of all, be patient. Real change in this part of the world is measured in generations, not election cycles. And really, this leaves us with the big ultimate question. Now that we can see the logic, the code that has historically denied victory, is that code unbreakable? Or can a new generation, armed with this kind of understanding, finally figure out a way to overcome these incredibly deep-rooted challenges? The analysis, well, it doesn't give us an easy answer there. It kind of leaves that question hanging in the air for the future.
So if you want to go deeper on this, you can find Aslan Sultan's complete analysis at the link you see on your screen. Thanks for tuning in.